Alright guys, I'm doing a Harpy Lady deck profile. I'm doing this for my friend Archie, who has been playing Harpy Ladies since pretty much their release in the TCG, and he wanted a profile for Master Duel, so I'm making him one. First off, we have Tri-Brigade Nerval. So this card has the same effect that like all the Tri-Brigade monsters have. You can banish any number of Beast, Beast Warrior, or Wing Beast monsters in your grave. Special summon a Beast, Beast Warrior, Wing Beast, Link monster from your extra deck with link rating equal to the number banished. Also, you can only use Beast, Beast Warrior, and Wing Beast monsters as link material for the rest of the turn, which we're going to do since we're playing Harpies. If this card is sent to the graveyard, you can add one Tri-Brigade monster from your deck to your hand, except Tri-Brigade Nerval. You can only use each effect of Tri-Brigade Nerval once per turn. And so the fact that he lets you add to hand, you typically want to add Tri-Brigade Cuirass to hand. And his effect is he lets you discard another Beast, Beast Warrior, Winged Beast monster, special summon him, and then he has the effect to do the summon as well. He doesn't have a graveyard effect. Next we have Tri-Brigade Kit. He has the summon effect, and he has the graveyard effect of you can send a Tri-Brigade card from your deck to your graveyard. And next we have Tri-Brigade Fraks. You can send this card from your hand or field to the graveyard. Send one level 3 or lower Beast, Wing Beast, Warrior monster from your deck to your graveyard. You can banish any number of Beast, Beast Warrior, or Wing Beast monsters and do the special summon effect. He doesn't have the graveyard effect, but he does let you send from hand. So typically what we do is we go Farkle, Kit, Nerval, and then add Cuirass, and then we have 1, 2, 3 in the graveyard, and most of the time we can discard a Harpy Lady for Cuirass, so while 4 in the graveyard, and we can make the big beat stick that does the banish effect. So that's the Tri-Brigade package part of this deck. I'm running very low numbers of the Tri-Brigade monsters, and that's because they can kind of brick if you're trying to also play the Harpy part of the deck, so lower numbers are better, but still let you access the Tri-Brigade package plenty. Next we have 2 Maxi. During either player's turn, if your opponent's going to special summon a monster or monsters, you can send it from your hand to the graveyard. Every time your opponent would special summon a monster or monsters, you get to draw 1 card. So let's say your opponent activates Monster Reborn, you could chain this, draw 1 card, or your opponent activates the effect that would bring out 2 monsters at once. You can activate this and you'll still only draw 1 card. But every time they summon, you can draw a card. This can be good to make Drytron players in turn early, or just get card advantage, because card advantage is good. Next we have Ash Blossom. When a card or effect is activated, that includes adding a card from deck to hand, special summoning from deck, sending a card from deck to graveyard. You can discard Ash Blossom, send it from your hand to the graveyard, and you can negate that effect. You can only use that effect once per turn. Next we have Harpy Lady 1. And you're probably asking me, why are you running a Harpy Lady 1 when there are better options like Harpy Dancer and all that? Well, I'm running Harpy Lady 1 because it's always treated as Harpy Lady, including in the deck, and the attack boost. The attack boost was actually pretty sweet. So it's always Harpy Lady. So you can bring out with Elegant Egotist, and all wind monsters gain 300 attack. So this has been really good to spam out Exceed monsters or spam out links or whatever else I want to do because of Elegant Egotist. It also lets you get your synchro very easily, because your Harpy synchro, you can just treat any monster, any Harpy monster you control as a tuner. So like if you have another Harpy out and use Elegant Egotist and you get Harpy Lady 1 out on the board, then you can just easily instantly make Cyber / Harpy Lady. So it's just useful to have. Next we have Barrier Statue of the Storm. I'm actually thinking about putting this to 2. I don't know what I would cut yet, but this is a very good card. Neither player can special summon monsters except wind monsters. I actually might cut the Harpy Chandler for that. You can discard a Harpy card, special summon a Harpy monster from your deck in defense position, so you could get the dragon if you wanted to. You can only use the effect of Harpy Chandler once per turn. While you control a dragon monster, this card becomes level 7, this card's name becomes Harpy Lady while in the field or in the graveyard. So it's good to beam out a Harpy monster, because then you could also do the same plays you would make with Elegant Egotist, and it lets you discard a Harpy card to do it. It can be any Harpy card, so like if you have Hunting Ground just dead in your hand. But personally, this card, I don't really use it that often. Next we have Harpy Harpist. It becomes Harpy Lady while in the field or in the graveyard. You can only use each of these effects of Harpy Harpist once per turn. If it's normal summoned, you can target another winged beast monster you control and a face-up monster your opponent controls and return them to the hand. During the end phase, if it's sent there to the graveyard, if it's sent to the graveyard during the end phase of the turn, you can add one level 4 winged beast monster with 1500 or less attack from your deck to your hand. So it's any winged beast monster, so you could also get various Statue of the Storm. Heck, you could even get Tri-Brigade Nerval, so pretty decent effect. I actually really liked running this card. Next we have 3 Perfumer. It becomes Harpy Lady while in the field or in the graveyard. If this card is normal or special summoned, you can add a spell or trap from your deck to your hand that specifically lists the card Harpy Lady Sisters in its text. If you controlled a level 5 or higher Harpy monster while you activated this effect, you can add a second card. So that's pretty good effect. So I like Harpy Perfumer because I can instantly add Elegant Egotist to my hand. So like even if I brick and I open Harpy Perfumer, if they don't stop the Harpy Perfumer effect, I get Elegant Egotist, and then from there I can beam out another Harpy monster and go into a rank 4 or go into Cyber/Harpy Lady. Harpy Oracle is also very useful. It becomes Harpy Lady while in the field or in the graveyard. If you control level 5 or higher Harpy monster, you can just special summon it from your hand for free. If it's normal or special summon, you can add a spell or trap from your graveyard that specifically lists Harpy Lady Sisters in its text during the end of the turn. So you can recycle Elegant Egotist, which is pretty nice. You can also recycle Alluring Mirror Split, which is pretty nice. Already covered those guys. So I have the 1 Harpy Lady Sisters here. This card is a definite brick, and I've thought about replacing it possibly with another Storm Barrier statue. The only use this card has really had is just to be another body on the board, and if you have the level 4 out, it's a body on the board that has over 2k attack. But I still don't really see it being very worth, because I don't really ever resolve the Harpy Perfumer effect for it. I mainly have this in here just because I feel like people that are playing the deck casually really want to have Harpy Lady Sisters in there, so I wanted a way to work it in. If you do want to be a little bit more competitive, I would probably actually remove this for a Barrier Statue of the Storm, or add a Harpy's Pet Dragon and a second Chandler and take something else out as well. But if you really want to play the deck because you love the deck and you're playing it for fun, go ahead and run Harpy Lady Sister. It worked just fine for me. 3 Elegant Egotist. If Harpy Lady's on the field, you can special summon a Harpy Lady or Harpy Lady Sisters from your hand or deck. That is just really useful to make pretty much everything in your extra deck. 1 Regeki, 1 Harpy's Feather Duster, which is actually searchable with their trap card. 2 Ties of the Brethren. So I've not seen other Harpy decks running this, and I don't really know why, because I am running back row in the deck and I can kind of defend my board. This has actually been a really useful card to have, because if I'm going first and I have any Harpy Lady out, like any level 4 winged beast monster, I can play Ties of the Brethren. I can bring out the Barrier Statue from my deck in defense mode. So like, my opponent not being able to special summon anything unless it's wind first turn, that's pretty good. Next we have Pot of Extravagance. You banish 3 or 6 cards from your extra deck face down, draw 1 card for a few cards banished. The only reason I'm running this is I do really want some easy consistency. I know there is a card like 4 Harpies that lets you draw, but there are a couple of requirements on it, so this was kind of much easier to pull off despite the extra deck cost. And sometimes you will end up banishing pieces that you really don't want to banish, but unfortunately that's just one of the drawbacks to the card, and you really need it for consistency if you draw a boo-boo hand. Next we have Harpy's Hunting Ground. Harpy's Hunting Ground, you really don't want to draw into. You basically only want to add this card with Perfumer. The only reason I'm even running it is because being able to destroy back row has been really useful, and the Winged Beast monster attack steroid of 200 attack and defense is really good as well. So if any Harpy Lady or Harpy Lady sisters, normal or special summoned, player who conducted the summon targets one spell or trap card in the field and destroys that target, it is mandatory, but it is also useful for a combo with our next card, which is Hysteric Sign. When this card is activated, you get to add an Elegant Egotist from your deck or graveyard to your hand. During the end phase, if this card's in the graveyard because it was sent there from the hand to the field, you can add up to 3 different Harpy cards with different names from each other from your deck to your hand. You can only use one Hysteric Sign effect per turn, and only once that turn. So this card is pretty good, and if I was running a pure variant of it, I'd probably be running 2, and I would also be running more Harpies instead of the Tri-Brigade guys, but I do really like having access to the Tri-Brigade engine. Next we have Alluring Mirror Split. When a Harpy Lady or Harpy Lady sisters you control is destroyed by battle, you can special summon a Harpy monster from your deck with a different original name than the destroyed monster. If this card is destroyed by a Harpy card effect or your opponent's card effect, target one Harpy monster in your graveyard and special summon it, so you can do that with Hunting Ground. And then we have Featherstorm. Harpy's Featherstorm. If you control a Wind Winged Beast monster until the end phase of this turn, negate any monster effects your opponent activates. If you control a Harpy monster, you can activate this card from your hand. If this card is under spell and trap card is destroyed by an opponent's card effect, you can add one Harpy's Feather Duster from your deck or graveyard to your hand. So search Feather Duster and can negate any monster effects your opponent activates. That includes hand traps. That's a good card. Next we have Tri-Brigade Revolt. It lets you special summon a number of your beasts, winged beasts, or beast warrior monsters that are banished or in your graveyard. You negate their effects, and after this resolves, you link summon one Tri-Brigade monster using only those monsters. You can only activate one Tri-Brigade Revolt per turn. The fact that you can use it to bring back Harpy Ladies and then make them into a Tri-Brigade monster, pretty nice, because once this is in the graveyard, or once this is in the graveyard, I don't really have much of a use for them. One Solemn Judgment, one Solemn Warning, two Solemn Strikes, one Hysteric Party. Activate this card by discarding one card, special summon as many copies of Harpy Lady as possible from your graveyard. When this card leaves the field, destroy those monsters. So this deck has been a lot of fun. I do know that you can also run the Simorg link in this, and I think I'm actually going to be doing that in the future, and I would recommend it. It's 2+ monsters, including a Winged Beast. Cannot be used as link material. Your opponent cannot target this card or a Winged Beast monster this card points to with card effects. If this card be destroyed by battle, you can destroy one other Simorg card you control instead. During the end phase, you can special summon a Winged Beast monster from your hand or deck with a level lower or equal to the total number of unused spell and trap card zones on the field. You can only use the effect of Simorg Burden of Sovereignty once per turn. I think I am probably going to run the heck out of that. It just seems pretty good. The other Simorg monsters, not so much, but the Link monster seems like it would really be worthwhile. I would actually probably cut the Harpy's Pet Phantasm Dragon for that, because it's just not very good. It can attack directly, which is nice, but it takes 3 wind monsters, and that's just that. I don't know if I want to commit that much to the board for it, but it is pretty fun. And then now on the extra deck, we got Cyber / Harpy Lady. For this card, Synchro Summon, you can treat one Harpy monster you control as a tuner. This card's name becomes Harpy Lady while in the field or in the graveyard. So, like I said earlier, you can use Elegant Egotist, 2 level 4s, make this. When a spell or trap card effect is activated, except during the damage step, this is a quick effect. You can target one monster your opponent controls or a Harpy monster you control and return it to your hand. So, you can, like, if your opponent activates something that requires them to have a certain monster in the field, you can just bounce that monster and then the card will fizzle. Like, it's really, really useful. Lightning Chidori. 2 level 4 wind monsters. If it's XYZ summoned, you can target a set card your opponent controls. It goes to the bottom of the deck. Once per turn, you can detach an XYZ material from this card, target a face-up card your opponent controls, and return it to the top of your deck, their deck. I actually did this to Eldritch and beat Eldritch because of it. It was pretty funny. Next we have Ice Beast Zero Fine, 2 level 4 Queen Beast type monsters. You can detach a material from this card, negate the effects of as many face-up cards your opponent controls as possible, and if you do, this card gains 300 attack for every face-up card currently on the field except this card. These changes last until your next standby phase. This has been good to get around certain floodgates. Also, it can get really big sometimes if your opponent has a bunch of like face-up cards on board. Phantasmal Dragon. This card's effect can only be applied to resolve as material. It can attack your opponent directly. Your opponent cannot target any Harpy monsters with effects or for attacks. During end phase, detach 1 material from this card. Evil Swarm Exotonite. Basically, once per chain during main phase or your opponent's battle phase, if your opponent has more total cards in their hand and on their field than you do, you detach 1, and then you destroy all other cards on the field, and your opponent takes no further damage this turn. I've mainly used this defensively, so my opponent kind of can't overcommit to the board. I do really like this card. Next we have Zeus. So if you have a XYZ monster that's attacked, you can overlay Zeus on top of it in main phase 2, basically. And Zeus has the effect that... Oh, it also gets that card's materials too, but Zeus has the effect that you can detach 2 cards from it, and you can send all other cards on the field to the graveyard. If another card you control is destroyed by battle or opponent's card effect, you can attach 1 card from your hand, deck, or extra deck to this material. I actually really like that effect because I can detach something that I might not want to draw into right now. If I'm getting really low on cards and getting down to it, and I still haven't used the Harpy Lady this year, so I can be like, alright, you get on Zeus so I don't have to draw you. Next we have Nightmare Cerberus, 2 monsters with different names. This can actually be very hard to make in the deck, and I think I'm actually going to take this out for some work, because everything on my deck is Harpy Lady. And I have actually made this before a couple of times by like using a Tri-Brigade monster, but I really don't want to have to do that in the future. This one, 2 monsters, different name, discard a card, target a special summon monster in opponent's main monster zone, destroy it. Physical link, draw a card. Phoenix is the same effect except for spawn trap cards. Unicorn is the same effect except it's any card, and instead of destroying it, it spins it back into the deck, and he requires 3 monsters. Harpy Conductor, which actually, you know what, we're gonna take that out, and even though we don't use Conductor a lot, we're gonna put the second Conductor in and some other links in. You can run the Nightmares if you want, but I think we're not going to run them just because I pretty much never use them, and literally anything else that's more usable would be better. Like Geonator Transverser, better. I actually had a chance where I could have made Apollosa, and it would have been awesome to bring that out, and I couldn't. I also never used this Tri-Brigade monster, so I'm also going to cut him. You can keep him if you want, but personally I just never really needed it. And I'm going to put in, oh, it's Great Fly, isn't it? Great Fly. I'm putting the Great Fly. All wind monsters gain 500 attack defense. All earth monsters lose 500 attack defense. Destroyed by battle or card effect. You can target a wind monster in graveyard, add it to your hand. You can only use this effect to Great Fly once per turn. So he effectively hits the field at 1900 attack points, and he gives a boost to all your other guys, or girls, rather. I really like that effect. Actually, we're just going to have 2 Great Fly, because I don't use Conductor too much. So Conductor's 2 wind monsters, becomes Harpy Lady while it's on the field or in the graveyard. You can only use each of the effects of Harpy Conductor once per turn. If a Harpy monster you control be destroyed by battle or card effect, you can destroy 1 spell or trap card you control instead. If a face-up Harpy monster you control returns to the deck, except during the damage step, you can target 1 special summon monster your opponent controls and return it to the hand. So I do like that because it works really well with your synchro, and it works really well with harpies. Next we have Tri-Brigade Fairjit, and it's during your main phase. You can special summon 1 level 4 lower beast, wing beast, or beast warrior monster from your hand. You cannot use monsters linked material for the rest of the turn except for beast, wing beast, or beast warrior. If it's sent from the field to the graveyard, you can draw a card, then place 1 card from your hand on the bottom of your deck. I actually really like that effect for consistency because I can put back dead stuff like Harpy's Hunting Ground or Harpy Lady's Sister that we could search out later if we actually wanted them. Geonator Transverser. If it points to 2 things, you can switch control of those 2 things. This link card and monster it points to cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects. You can only use this effect to Geonator Transverser once per turn. Card's really funny to actually like resolve. Tri-Brigade Rugal the Silver Sheller. During your opponent's main phase, you can special summon 1 level 4 lower beast, wing beast, beast warrior monster from your graveyard, but negates effects. I've done this to bring back Perfumer, even though I can't get Perfumer's effect. I can still have it on the board to use Featherstorm if I need a Harpy body for that. So that's really useful. And then, oh, and also whatever you summon goes back to your hand during the phase, so you could summon it next turn too, which is great. If it's sent to the graveyard, your opponent's monsters lose 300 attack for each monster type you control currently. Most of the time, they're pretty much only going to lose like 300 to 600, but it's fine. You can only use each effect once per turn. Next, we have Appaloosa, 2+ monsters with different names, except tokens. Oh, different names except tokens. Well, actually, this lets you summon anything, right? From your extra, yeah, it has to be Wingbeast. So yeah, Appaloosa, no, probably not going to do that either because of the same problems with the Nightmares. Probably just going to keep the 2 Harpy Chandlers. And then we have the big Tri-Brigade, Shurig, the Ominous Omen. He's great. He's 2+ beast, beast warrior, wing beast monsters. If he's special summoned or another beast, beast warrior, wing beast monster special summoned to your field, you can banish a card in the field. Doesn't target. If it's sent to the graveyard, you can add a beast, beast warrior, wing beast monster from your deck to your hand, whose level is less than or equal to the number of banished beast, beast warrior, wing beast monsters. You can only use each effect. You can only use each effect of Tri-Brigade Shurig on the summon once per turn. Card's great. So that's the deck. I'm going to leave you guys with the replays. I hope you really like it. Once again, this video has been sponsored by, that's not my sponsor, that's my YuGiOh here. That was my sponsor. This video has been sponsored by WEnergy. Use the link below and the description to get 10% off with code SirLargeGaming. I personally like the pink lemonade and dragon fruit flavor. I drink it on stream occasionally. It's really good, and I feel like it provides more energy. Blah. Seems like I need a little bit of WEnergy for this video with how much I've been stuttering. Provides more energy than most like energy drinks out there, so I really like it. Alright guys, here's the replays up in your face, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.